Alright, my next new project car is here. From Copart's pictures, I think I caught all of the damage, but when I got the car, I do see there's a couple dents just in the door. That'll be okay. I do not think it didn't break the paint or anything. I'm actually scratching it right off, the scuff mark. Those dents are pretty minor, so I haven't found anything that's major or anything yet. The airbag went off, and if you're buying a car that has an airbag deployed, you need to look at the seat belts too, because you can see how this one is just loosely flopped over the seat, and if I pull on it, it's not going to retract. And so in an accident, there's actually an explosive charge inside the seatbelt, completely locks it up, so your seatbelt will really hold on to you in the accident. In the back, there aren't any front airbags, but the seatbelts can deploy just the same as the front seat. But these rear seat belts are all okay. So, and here's the front bumper. They kind of smushed it up so they could fit it in the back seat. Half of it needs to be replaced. This lower grille here and the fog light covers, they seem to be savable, but pretty much everything else needs to be replaced. There isn't much damage to this side of the car. The fender looks really good. The headlight also looks great from the outside. I'll lift up this crazy smashed hood. You can see it won't even latch because the latch for the hood completely misses the latch on the car. I'm really glad it didn't fly up when we were towing it, because we didn't even check that. The only damage I see so far to this headlight is that these tabs are broken, but I can plastic weld those back together, so this headlight is definitely savable. Here's the engine bay. The crash bar is pushed in over here. You really can't see the frame rail though, so I'm going to need to do some disassembling. And the upper radiator support is really pushed in. Should be somewhere probably right here. The end is facing downwards and it's rubbing right into the pulley for the alternator. And it's really squeaky when you start up the car, and this is why. It's because it's metal on metal right there. And there's some sort of short circuit in the wiring, because the battery, when it arrived, it had like 4 volts on it. I think the battery's dead. I have a battery reconditioning mode on my charger, so I'm gonna try reconditioning the battery with that charger, but I really doubt that it's going to be savable. There doesn't seem to be any problems with the wheels or strut tower, anything like the Mustang that I worked on last time. And then lastly, on this side, the fender is pushed in and the door is pushed out, and it looks like what happened was the fender in the accident moved back just a little bit and it got in the door's way. Someone opened the door and it pushed in the fender and moved out the door at the edge. Here's the passenger side. Oh my gosh, there's sunglasses in here. Not my style, but that's not too bad. I know in the center console here there's a penny, so yeah, totally rich. There isn't anything in here though, just a paper clip. Oh man. I really would like to wash the car. It's super dusty. It was a very dusty lot when we went to pick it up. So I'll give it a wash, and that'll make it easier to find things like small dents and scratches. Now that the car's clean, it's a lot easier to see little dents and scratches and stuff. The worst thing I found though is right here underneath the hood. So when the crash, this hood moved back and it scratched this A-pillar really hard. And there's a little bit of a dent there, as you can see. And this isn't good because the clear coat needs to go over the entire panel. The panel goes from here all the way to the corner panel, just like most cars. And then it even goes down, and there's no brake, and it goes across on the rocker panel to here. And just like normal cars, all of this interior is connected. It's all one big piece. But that would probably add another week to this repair just to paint this. Having the trunk open, I can see there's more damage now. You can see this body line, and then right here, when something hit this, and it caused this kink in it right up here. So I'm definitely going to have to take off this bumper cover, and I'm going to use some heat, push that ridge down. Well, I think I caught all the damage I could find. I'm going to push the car back into the garage, and I'll start taking it apart. Alright, I'm going to start disassembling this so I know exactly what I need to order. I'm going to start with that headlight and then move on to this stuff over here. And I recommend just taking apart any car. If you can get plastic Ziploc bags and label exactly what you're taking off, that just saves so much time and headache later. And this piece is broken. I'm just going to keep it in the bag as well. That came off pretty easily. I'm going to get this headlight out of the way, and it's just plugged in right here. This is all it's hanging on just by the Alright, I'm going to remove the impact bar now. It's attached by bolts, so that makes it a lot easier. Some manufacturers will weld this on to the frame rails. That makes disassembly really difficult. Alright. Now it's a little easier to see how tilted it is, this front frame rail. I'm thinking about what I should take off next. I want to take off everything that's crashed, of course, up here. I'm going to try removing this upper part. I think there's some stuff that's back here that I need to get to. Well, this upper bar is pretty stuck on here, so maybe I don't need to take this off right now. I'm gonna try to just get this whole thing off in one piece and then take apart other stuff from it later. Okay, yeah, that loosened it up. Just gotta do it for the other side. Alright, the radiator support, it's a lot looser now. Now I can see what is holding it on. There's these tubes right here, and there's another hose down there I need to disconnect, and then there's two bolts down here, and that's just holding it on the bottom. So let me take those off. Alright, I'm not going to spill coolant everywhere if I open this. Like that. Okay. I'm going to drain the radiator before I remove this one. Okay, let's get this out of here. Yeah, I'm going to need a new one of these because pretty much half of it is missing. I've got a catch tub under the radiator drain valve. The radiator is totally drained. I think I can get this radiator off if I just remove these little air dams on the sides, and there should be bolts behind here. And then I'm also going to remove this washer bottle so I can get access to the frame rail and just take a look at that. I'll have to put this up here for now. Finally, we've got some access to the right side frame rail. Now we can easily see where the damage is. This doesn't look too bad. I'm glad it's not further back. Kia has a procedure for this car where we can section the frame rail at about right here. And I think I might be able to do that. It just broke off. And the bolts I took out earlier just came apart now. Now this should be loose. There's the bottom. There's the upper part. Right there. Now we got this out. Let's see. Fan looks okay. I ordered a refrigerant recovery machine so I can take off the condenser. That machine will be here in about a week. And with the radiator and radiator support off, that gives me a lot more room to access this damage. But there is about a 1-inch gap between the engine and the frame rail, and I need to be able to cut all the way down on this side to cut the frame rail off and weld on this side. There's just no way I can get in between there. So that means this engine is going to have to come out. I have an engine hoist over there in the corner, so hopefully removing this engine isn't as hard as it sounds. Something to look forward to in the future episodes, I guess. But that's it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.